This is Outdated, and welcome to episode 14 of Game Pass Passport. So, we are stamping our passport today for a lot of different locations. But for the sake of keeping it simple, we're going to stamp our passport for a little place called Earth. So I am playing Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is the console version. I'm playing it on my Xbox One S. My Xbox Series S. God, the naming conventions they use. I'm just saying, it's confusing. This is the city of Atlanta I'm flying over. I just saw the what used to be the Georgia Dome, and some of these skyscrapers I recognize anytime you watch the show Black Lightning, because it films in the Atlanta area. But so either way, I am playing this game. Now, this franchise has a ridiculously storied history. It's been a PC staple for a very, very long time. The first flight simulator came out before the first Windows came out. Like the operating system, not the thing in your house that you look through, But it is like that. It's been around that long. So that says something. And this is the first time it's ever come to console because it's just such a massive game. And this is unique because it's literally using Bing satellite data to map everything out. So it's literally almost in real time, I guess, as to what's there. So I was just experimenting here, and that's kind of what we're going to do. I started in Atlanta, and I, decided to go try to find some various things that I was aware of in that area. And then I decided to, do something really silly. And so I'm flying this type of jet here, but we're going to check out some others here in a minute. So here I'm kind of more out in the middle of nowhere again. But, the scenery is gorgeous. And the one thing I have noticed, and you may see it as you're watching the video, every once in a while you're going to have pop-in down there. Think about this for a second. That's a golf course, I think. I think we might be over, I can't even tell, but that might be a golf course. Oh yeah, look at that. It feels very golf coursey. But the games have pop-ins whenever their world is just, like a couple city blocks. This is the entire flipping planet. Like the real planet, right? And so, it's definitely going to have pop-in. It's to be expected, right? But look at, how beautiful it looks just from where we are. It's fantastic. I think the issue some people have, and this is especially for a console gamer who have and I'm not saying this to be, like, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not saying this to demean console gaming, because I love console gaming, but their definition of a game, at least until about 10 years ago, was pretty limited. Like, they had a certain perception of what a game is versus what a game isn't. So games, example, like Gone Home, got the supposedly insulting moniker of walking simulator. You didn't hear that much in the PC world because we're used to games like that, and we're used to, like, maybe not exactly like Gone Home, but games that don't fit a very easily stamped category. Flight Simulator obviously fits the simulation category, but is there really a gameplay goal or a gameplay loop? Not really. You can, like, set up, and I'm just, like, picking various things. I'm actually continuing to fly around here. You basically just do it however you want to do it. You pick where you want to fly, pick where you want to take off from, pick where you want to land. I think that is Interstate 85, if I'm not mistaken, that we just flew over. But you pick where you want to go and what you want to do, and you just fly there. Like, you're not fighting anybody or anything like that. You're just flying around. And it's an incredibly relaxing experience once you learn how to do it. Now, at this stage, I have not learned how to do it very well. Matter of fact, there's a point coming up where I'm going to keep stalling my engine because I'm not really knowing what I'm doing. And so, but it gives you like a bunch of different planes to choose from, a bunch of different airports, a bunch of different locations, and you go. This is the first time that I'm aware of that you could just go pretty much anywhere, and in real time, it kind of, roughly real time, it kind of keeps up with where you're going. I have no idea what that place is, but that's cool. Um, but that's what makes this really, really neat. And it has some built-in journeys you can take, like, which is one of the things I really like about it, is I can just like hop in and I'm immediately in downtown Manhattan, and I can fly around, fly over Central Park, find Trump Tower if I really want to, find the Statue of Liberty, which isn't too hard to find. It's literally out there in the water. I can go find all these different cool things. Empire State Building. Yeah, that's really neat. It has it for a lot of places like Bora Bora and things like that. But let's say it doesn't have, like, it has the pyramids of in Giza in Egypt. But, you know, you can also say, you know, I just want to go find one myself. I want to take off from this location and find this landmark that I know exists and then go fly it. Probably the most common form of that, let's just be honest here, is somebody trying to find their house. You know, that's pretty much the standard. Right now I am actually flying over the town that I live in. So it's not even much to it. It's a little nowhere. It's a little nothing in the middle of nowhere. But I was kind of messing around because, you know, my town basically has a Walmart, and to heck with you. I mean, like, that's it. And so I was wanting to find the Walmart because that is basically the social hub of my community. And at first I thought that building down there behind my town was it, but that might have been it that I just passed over. But I know I'll find it here in a minute. But it's, you know, just really neat that you can find all these things. You can track them down. I mean, most people are like, I want to go find my house. Well, I'd have a hard time finding my house unless I could fly underneath the tree canopy. And I think I'm going to crash here in a minute. I think I discover a way to completely screw this up. It is kind of fun, though, just to, you know, crash it for the sake of, you know, fun. All right, let's see. Where are you, Walmart? Where are you? You've got to have something I want to buy, right? Is this it? No, I think I might be at the wrong end of town, actually. Huh. See, that's the problem. I'm doing turns and, like, messing around. And, like, see, I think I'm about to crash. All right, now I just found our local rec department, that baseball field, which means Walmart isn't too awful far away. Heck of a turn I did there, though. I somehow survived. And you can hear the radio chatter. I could have turned that off if I wanted to. I didn't really worry about it. All right, so here I've switched out. And I've gone to, I want to say somewhere in Italy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in Italy. I mean, look at that beautiful ocean, right? And all these landmarks. I mean, there's so many landmarks here I can explore. But that's the thing about Flight Simulator is, you know, your game world is the real world. And the game is just seeing it. Just enjoying seeing it, right? Places I will probably never be. I mean, I was raised by an Italian family, and I would love to visit Italy one day. But let's be honest, I'm never going to probably get to go. It's just probably not going to happen. The amount of money that would cost, the amount of time that I don't have. I mean, you know, there's too much going on. I have too many responsibilities. But like, so this is the closest I'm probably going to get, is flying over this cool stuff. Like this fort right here. Look at this. This fort on top of a hill overlooking the city. And it has like the landmarks marked and stuff, so you can go try to track down what the specific place is. It's a game designed for you to play and relax, right? To just sit back and enjoy it. Now you can mess with like the and I already did this in the previous footage. I just kind of forgot to mention it. You can mess with the weather where you are, so you can fly in like rain or snow or whatever. And it will adapt to what's on the ground and all that. You can do that if you want to. You know, it's up to you, however, whatever floats your boat. But I mean, look at this. Now, for a lot of people who, you know, game today, where, you know, their gaming experience revolves around Call of Duty, Fortnite, and insert sports game here. Here we go. I think we're I'm trying to remember where this is. Bora Bora, maybe? Cyprus? I can't remember. But if that's what your gaming experience revolves around, this will be a bit perplexing for you, right? And I get it. I mean, like, there's nothing I enjoy more than playing an old school hardcore shooter, and even the modern versions, like say Doom Eternal or whatever. I love those games, and you know, I do that probably more often lately than I do most other stuff. But this is a unique and special and powerful experience, and the fact that they found a way to make this thing run on a gaming console, right? I mean, like, a gaming console. Gaming consoles are notoriously underpowered compared to PCs, and yet they found a way to make it run, and honestly, with minimal sacrifices. The sacrifices are all in the visuals, probably, and in some cases in the frame rate, but even then, this still looks better than any other game. Like, period. Like, I mean, it's just stunning, right? So I can't recommend this type of game enough. If you have Game Pass, and you know, this is Game Pass Passport after all. Yeah, we're looking at different games in Game Pass and saying, you know, if they're worth playing on Game Pass or not, or, you know, are they worth maybe purchasing and that sort of thing. If you have Game Pass on PC and your PC will run this thing, which mine will not, just putting it out there. Oh, look at that Coliseum there. Soccer pitch. I think that's the soccer pitch down there. That is so awesome. Okay, either way. If you have a PC and your PC will run it and you have Game Pass, install it. If you can handle the ridiculously huge install, because, you know, it's a really, really big install, I suggest you install the darn thing. It's just amazing, right? If you have Game Pass on console, if you're playing on an Xbox One or One X, you're not going to be able to play it. It will not work on that. But if you have a Series S like I do, or a Series X like I really, really wish I had, then you got to try it. If you've got the room on the hard drive, even if it's just for a little bit, get on there, mess around with it, you know, experience it so you can say you did, because it's just one of those games that's what you want to do. You want to say, I experienced this. I got to, you know, do something and play something that is an icon of video games, which is what this is. And this is the most advanced and most beautiful version of Flight Simulator to date. Here's hoping that, you know, that because they brought this franchise back, and there's always talk about who has the best exclusives and all that, and which, you know, it's up to you how much you put stock in those things. Like, I think that it's a big deal. But I also look at, well, the best exclusives of what, right? Like, I love third-person action games, and Sony has the best third-person action games without even a shadow of a doubt. But, you know, I also love shooters, and Sony doesn't have any, really. So, you know, therefore I'm going somewhere else, like a PC or an Xbox. They don't have a whole lot of RPGs, unless you're talking JRPGs. But as far as American RPGs, then, or not American, I don't think that's the right word, but, you know, the more traditional RPGs, then I'm going to Xbox, right? Because that's where I get all the great Bethesda stuff and all the, you know, other great RPGs that are out there, like the Fables, whenever that comes back, and all that mess. So, okay, I think this is where I crash. I'm just saying, I think I end up crashing, because that's Mount Vesuvius, and I think I'm going to crash into the side of Mount Vesuvius. Mount Vesuvius is the volcano, if I'm not mistaken, that erupted and destroyed Pompeii. So it's fitting that I crash into the darn thing. But either way, but, you know, like, when I talk about who has the great exclusives, one of the, you know, statements you'll hear is, you know, like, Microsoft desperately needs something like a God of War that gets a perfect 10, or something like The Last of Us that gets a perfect 10. Well, I don't think it got a perfect 10. I want to say it got a 9.5, but whatever. Flight Simulator got a perfect 10. So, you know, it is that good of a game. It's just not a traditional game. You know, get what I mean? except for it's been around a lot longer than God of War has. So maybe it is, it is a tradition. I don't know. There's a lot of debate we can have over this, but it really depends on what you want out of your gaming experience, right? And what you want to do, because it's your time, it's your hobby. Enjoy it, have fun with it. So let's see. I don't remember. Oh yeah, here's where I messed up. I was worried I wasn't going to clear it. And so I tried to go down and I just completely messed up. And as you can see, that went well. I am a beast at flying. I'm like the best flyer ever. Okay, now here I've swapped out. I've actually gone to night flying. I'm flying at night here. I just have to remember where I am now. The heck if I know. We'll probably figure it out here in a second once we get close to something. Oh, I think it might have been Tokyo? That's not Tokyo, though. Now, another thing about... Here we go. Now, look at this. That's just beautiful at night. And here, from inside the cockpit, you can choose to fly inside the cockpit and literally use the instruments in the plane. And so if you really wanted to play it that way now, that would overwhelm me. I'm looking at this, and I'm about to, have a stroke now. and wait till later when I show you the inside of a huge passenger jet. But I mean, it's gorgeous, right? But either way, this game scored really, really, really well because for what it's trying to do, it does it perfectly. It does exactly what its goal is. Now, there are some things you can download to improve each part of the Earth even more. The download for this thing is already ridiculously big. I mean, I want to say 90 something gigabytes, and then when you add in all those add-ons, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's also sections where you can purchase things that they did not model and put in because it's a massive undertaking to do the entire planet. And they did, I think there are 38,000 airports in the world, something like that. And they did 28,000 of them. The 28,000 most populous or used airports or whatever, or the ones that are in major landmarks, stuff like that. But if you have one that, in your area that isn't in the game and you want it to be included in the game, you can use the development tools to create it in-game. You can create it, and then you can sell it. And other players of Flight Simulator will pay you to download it and use it and put it in their world. Same with adding new planes and stuff. So what's cool about it is, and there was some weird controversy around this, which is usually just people who have no idea what they're talking about in this case. They're like, see, Microsoft held these things and put it behind a paywall. That's not what happened. Microsoft didn't make them at all. Fans did. And you're paying the fans. There's a complete, huge difference. Those are not the same thing, right? When somebody went out of their way to create this, to make it happen. Oh, I remember now. I think this might be... I think I've got some footage when I was flying over Moscow. I don't think this is it, but I could be wrong. I don't think this is it. That's probably Tokyo. But either way, there's so much. So if I have a concern about anybody playing it, there's two. One is you have to know what you're getting into and what type of game this is, and that it is not bang bang shooty dodge jump kind of stuff, right? It is more of a peaceful meditative game, and it's there to experience something. But the other thing is hard drive space. Can't stress that enough. Hard drive space, and better to have an SSD than a mechanical hard drive, which is probably the main reason you can't play it on old consoles. I mean, not only could the processors probably not handle it super well, but even more importantly, you wouldn't have a good read-write speed from your hard drive to be able to get this to work, where with an SSD, like in the more modern consoles and with, PCs made anytime recently, then it'll pull it off, right? All right, here we go now. I was flying around Tokyo, and this is Mount Fuji. And now this is one I just picked myself. I don't think it had like a quick tour where you can just go to Mount Fuji. I just was thinking, what landmarks can I think of that I just want to go check out, just for fun, and here we go. So I will be switching out planes pretty soon. And like I said, you can actually design planes to put in there. And there are different levels of the game you can purchase that get you more stuff anyway. But you see that with almost every game nowadays. Buy the base game for $60 and buy this deluxe edition where you get the base game and an exclusive DLC that gives you new skins and maybe an emote or something, and that sort of thing, and some imaginary currency for your microtransactions. Then you buy the Extreme Edition where you get the base game plus all that other crap, plus the season pass for all the DLC, right? And so that's kind of how this was, and it opens up more of the airports. So, and of course that means you're there's Mount Fuji. I think I'm going to crash into it. I might be wrong, but I have this feeling I'm going to crash into it because, look, I'm flying like an idiot here. This is why I'm not a pilot in real life, right? Because people would die. Because I'm a bit of a moron when it comes to flying a plane. But still, look at that. Oh my God. It's just so beautiful. All right. So, you've got a lot of options here. If you are thinking about just buying the game outright, with the price tag of $60. Alright, I think this might be Moscow. I could be wrong, but I think this might be Moscow at night. But if you are considering it, know what you're getting into. Know that you are talking about a flight simulation game. It is not there to accomplish any world-saving goals or anything. As long as you know what you're in for, then it's great. Buy it. But you have to know what you're in for, right? And that's why it being on Game Pass is just amazing, because I don't have to buy it. And so I can play it and get my fill of this experience, however much that is, because people will put a tremendous amount of hours into Flight Simulator when they want to go look at all these landmarks and look at all these places. Oh, now here we are. We're inside the cockpit of a huge passenger jet. I mean, look at all these buttons and stuff and switches. I'll be going to it again because there's some up on the ceiling too. It's just overwhelming. But I mean, the game, everything about it is just gorgeous. It really is. I captured a good bit of footage on this thing. I mean, I want to say this is a pretty long episode, and I got to be honest, I'm kind of running out of stuff to say here, because I had to do this footage a little differently. Normally all my footage is I'm playing while I'm talking, right? So I'm multitasking. Here, this feels like I should have scripted this, but I like that everything about this is customizable. You can this is something I totally forgot to mention. Let's say you want the experience, but you don't want to actually learn how to fly the plane, because it is complicated. I am not joking you. It is unlike any game you've ever played before. It is really, really complicated. You can literally have the AI fly it for you, and you just watch, or you can or all the way down to you have complete and 100% control of every knob and switch and everything in between. Like when I first started, I started in an airport, and I allowed the AI to handle takeoff. And then once I had taken off and I was at a decent altitude, then I switched out and messed around, so I can get the experience of flying around. I tried, taking off, but I didn't play the actual training or tutorials. I heard that they're quite extensive, because you're flying a jet. In real life, flying a jet is far more complicated than the most complicated video game can ever be. So, except for maybe this specific video game, because it's supposed to be an accurate simulation of flying a jet, especially on a PC where you have your entire keyboard of keys to use. On a console, that was the trick, and this is what really amazes me. they were able to adapt this immensely complex game to using a gamepad, which has an incredibly limited number of button combinations to use. I mean, that just, it's mind-blowing. I think we're flying over an airport here. Is that what that is? Just going to soak in the scenery. You'll see me, I'm kind of looking around. When I was doing the footage, I was doing this intentionally, so you could like see different stuff. And that's why you would see the pop-in sometimes, because I was also moving it around a bunch for no real reason except, you know, so you could see stuff. And, you know, that the console has to kind of keep up. It has to get the information from the servers and process it and pop it up there. Now here we go. We're inside the cockpit again. So we've got all of this stuff. I'm looking around. All these different knobs and switches. Look at them. All these knobs and switches. I could fly it with all this stuff. Look at this. And then wait for it. Look at all this. I'm just saying. It's immensely complex. And that is not a bad thing. So we're closing in. As far as a Game Pass passport, this show, this is episode 14. I think this might be my 12th game. I'm not sure, because I know I had 2 episodes for Sea of Thieves, 2 episodes for Hades. We're only going to do 1 on this one. It's just really long. I think there was another one with 2 episodes. So I'm going to try to get to a point where I can like go back and say, you know, these are all the things that we have seen. Here's what their status is on Game Pass as of this date. That sort of thing. I would like to do that while also doing a new game, you know. But I still have quite a few that I've downloaded and installed for the purpose of making episodes out of. I was going to do an episode of Gang Beasts and it'd be a daddy-daughter edition with my 12-year-old and I trying to like beat each other up in Gang Beasts, but we haven't had a chance to make that video yet. Hopefully that will be soon, even though it came out on Game Pass before this did. There's quite a few. I've got one that just dropped this week. I'm recording this audio during QuakeCon, and as a huge fan of like old school shooters, I love QuakeCon, and they dropped something that has like made me super happy. And hello, Hawaiian Islands. That's where we are now. We are at, I want to say it's Honolulu, or the big island of Hawaii, I think. We're flying over it, so I don't remember which one, so bear with me. But it is so awesome. But either way, so they dropped something, and I'm probably going to do an episode for it. And I've got this scripted series I wanted to do, and and that was going to be the first thing I did an episode on anyway. So I might go ahead and start making that and doing it like this, and actually trying a scripted series. I'm also thinking about doing a top 10 kind of thing. You know, like calling it something like Outdated's Top 10s, because, you know, I have like absolutely no creativity when it comes to naming things, I guess. I don't know. So we'll see how that plays out. But look at this. Look, I mean, the beaches alone, you know, I mean, like if you're into the beach, I mean, look at it, you know. But beyond that, it's stunning. It's gorgeous. Oh, here we go. Now you get to see somebody taking off. And this is from Atlanta Airport, actually. I believe this is from Atlanta Airport. This is what... Actually, this clip probably could have been put at the very front of this video. But I love how I can, like, look out. It'd be nice to have a co-pilot, though. Just saying. But, yeah, it's doing everything for me. You can see it on the top right of the screen. It's saying what it has or has not done. Okay, we're about to get ready for something. We are airborne. Oh, wait, this might have been in Hawaii. Yeah, that's where we are. This is where we took off in Hawaii. I think. Pretty sure. So these all those things that you saw at the top of the screen, I can click down on the left stick and it actually makes a cursor, and I can go up there to all these different options, including adjusting the weather, including setting it up so that that I have AI helpers or whatever. There's so many options and so much to see. And there's a golf course underneath my right wing. You can tell by looking at it that's a golf course. Look at that. I would love to play 18 holes right now. Mostly because it would eat up my entire day because I suck so badly at golf. I mean, there are times whenever I can swing at the ball on the tee and I'll miss it. It's still sitting there laughing at me. Look at that. I'm flying a Boeing 747. It's just amazing, right? And I'm trying to make a sharp turn, but here we go. I went to a different clip there. So I'm exploring Hawaii, just trying to find stuff. I remember I was trying to find Pearl Harbor, but I don't know if that's on the right island. Now, right there, that is a harbor, but I don't know if that's it, and I don't see like a icon to tell me that's it. But I do remember I was wanting to look for Pearl Harbor, because that would be really cool to see. Like, I have no idea except for the monument to the Arizona, I believe, but I doubt you would see that very well from flying way up in the sky. But I wanted to see like what the complex looked like and all that. That would be just really cool. So, fun idea, I guess. Where would you like to, if you were to be in a plane and get to fly anywhere, but not land, just fly to it and see it from up in the sky in real life, where would you want to go? That'd be something fun to put like in the chat at the bottom, like where would you want to go and fly to and see it from above, like you'd be flying it yourself, see it from above, experience it from above, but not actually land. Just say I saw it and I got there, and for the scenery and all that. So for me that's tough, because there's a part of me that has always wanted to go to Rome, Italy, but I want to actually be in Rome, Italy, right? So that kind of messes it up. Hawaii possibly, like which one we're seeing now, but at the same time, there are other places I would rather. You know what? I just thought of one. I would love to fly the entire length of the Great Wall of China. I'd like to start on the southern end, like the furthest southern point, and just follow it all from one end and follow it all the way to its end, and see everything I could see on either side. Where it's still intact and where it might not be intact. That'd be a pretty long flight, and it would probably be just stunningly beautiful, right? And that would be pretty cool. I'm not saying I'm going to commit to that choice, but I think that would be pretty darn neat. Obviously, for our next episode, I am going to, go back to something a little more action-oriented. I just don't know what that's going to be yet. But don't worry, the video is going to get made. And honestly, as soon as I do the audio for this, that might be what I do, is just go out ahead and knock out the next one to kind of keep ahead of these and make sure I've got them set up to premiere for, a couple weeks in advance. Because right now I am months ahead as far as premieres and most of my things, but Game Pass Passport, I kind of do it more in real time, because as new games come out, I want to be able to play them when they come out and have them pop up a week or so later. This one just took longer because I had to play it on Series S, and the way I stream the video when I'm playing live, it does not work to my PC. The app that I use for the Xbox One or One X, it does not support the Series S or X yet. So until that happens, I had to do this in small clips using the share button, and then I downloaded them and then put them together, and here we are. You hear that clicking sound. I did that a few times with this big old jet. I think that clicking sound tells me I'm a moron and can't fly a plane. See, it's doing it again. I just have no idea what the heck I'm doing with this thing. Seriously. I mean, that's just gorgeous.
Going to 119er decimal 9er, Boeing 747.
Now, I do remember while I was playing at one point, I was flying around Hawaii and I could see off in the distance another island. And, you know, Hawaii is a series of islands. There's more than one. And I thought, you know, I'm just going to fly to that island. Why not, right? One thing you can do also, because you do have fuel. So, like, if there is a like gameplay challenge, it's like the actual act of flying a plane as realistically as possible, and flying to different airports, getting refueled, and going on the next leg of your journey. That could be challenging. And in that regard, you kind of create your own adventure there and decide, okay, this is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. I want to fly from New York, and I want to go all the way to, I don't know, let's go with Moscow, you know, so I'm going to be making some stops, right? I mean, I should be able to clear the Atlantic, but I probably have to land somewhere in the UK maybe, or in Western Europe to refuel, and then keep on going. I'm not sure.
Going to 135 decimal for Boeing 747.
Oh, another thing that would be fun on here is if I flew to the Eiffel Tower and tried to fly like underneath it between the ground and the tower structure. Now I just saw some pop in over here on the left. But that's what I mean, like, and see, as I move the camera you can kind of see it. Or is that text? I can't even tell based on the image I have on my screen if that's text or what. But either way, here we go. This was there. I actually left the island. There's the island, right? And I decided I'm going to try to fly to this island. Why not? And that's the thing. I can go wherever I want as long as I have the fuel. And the cool thing is, you know, if I'm not worried about realism, I can literally hop in the menu and top off my fuel that way, so I could just fly, right? And I could just go in every once in a while and make sure I have fuel, and then I do it like that. So we're going to round this episode up. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Game Pass Passport. If so, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, and I will see you next time on Game Pass Passport.